Welcome back to Around Erie Table. Alex and Deanna here, and we're on the road again in our camper van Durania. This time we're headed towards the Lake Erie shore in Ontario. Some of you may have been following our videos from our Atlantic Canada Take 2 trip, and we did finish that trip, but we haven't finished the videos yet. However, we decided to finish this up as a week or so ago we did take this trip to Lake Erie, and we wanted to share it with you. The weather at this time of year, which is mid-October, is somewhat changeable, and it was very, very changeable on this trip. One consistent part of the trip, though, was the winds, which were quite strong a lot of the time. Anyway, we headed from where we live north of Toronto, and it took a couple of hours to get to the west end of the built-up areas and say goodbye to some friends of ours who are leaving to move to Florida. After boondocking the first night in a Walmart parking lot, we were soon in the country and very much enjoying the drive on the mostly secondary roads. Despite the fact that we had some rain and showers on the way, we made it to Rondeau Provincial Park. For those of you who are perhaps a little more familiar with U.S. geography, Rondeau Provincial Park lies pretty much due north from the city of Cleveland. Just walking through to the beach. And it's getting a little crisp. Lots of wind today. Rondeau's the second oldest provincial park in Ontario, and it's been around since 1894. It's situated on a peninsula called Point Pelee, which extends into Lake Erie. This is a beautiful, beautiful spot. One of the controversial things about this provincial park, though, is the existence of over 200 private cottages on leased provincial land. These cottages have been around for a long time, and there's some controversy over whether they should still be allowed or whether it's time to move on. Well, the sun's about to set. Along with Point Pelee and Pelee Island, which lies south of Point Pelee, this is one of the migratory bird path sanctuaries and is very, very popular during migratory season. Point Pelee, we'll visit next. It's a lot quieter a bit inland. I headed back to the van to join Deanna, who was staying warm inside. We had a lovely, cozy night of sleep, and in the morning we headed out to our main destination, which is Point Pelee, the southernmost point of mainland in Canada. And, well, here it comes. Hello! The entire arrowhead-shaped Point Pelee is a national park and is around about 4 kilometers long. It just tapers continually to the point, and it's mostly bog and sand on the shores. I mentioned the island several times as I'm narrating, and that was incorrect. Pelee Island, which is the southernmost part of Canada that is actually inhabited lies another 20 kilometers into Lake Erie, almost on the US border. We're at the Visitor Center, Point Pelee National Park. Lots of stuff for kids over there. We have little cloaks that say try us on for size. Ladybugs or bats or squirrels. The park's a birder's paradise. There's migratory birds cluster here, southbound in the fall, northbound in the spring, waiting for the right weather patterns to make their flights, or resting on the way north. Of course, this is the ubiquitous gift shop. This is the good stuff. So we're headed to the beach boardwalk to head down to Pelee Island Point. You can hear the waves. There's a bit of a breeze today, not quite as much as yesterday, and probably not as much as tomorrow, according to the forecast. I had misread that there was a beach boardwalk that ran all the way down the beach to the point. So when I saw these boards, I thought, that must be it. It doesn't look like much of a boardwalk here. Let's take a look at the beach and then... Well, I was wrong. We actually passed the beach path, and we'll circle back to it right away. Well,
I think you can take our lunch and pass
we found the footpath. It's not on the beach, it's by the beach. Path. We saw quite a few butterflies, including the endangered monarch. Unfortunately, I don't have a video of that. What kind of plants do you think of when you think of Canada? The mighty maple tree. How about cacti? Here's one fruiting. Very easy hike along here, other than parts of it where we get into the soft sand along the pathway. And it's a tough slug. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sumacs. Approaching the tip, as close to the tip as we can get. Most of the people we see down this far towards the tip have come from the visitor center by shuttle. It's a free shuttle for 2.5 kilometers. And That's the only traffic on the road along here. So we head towards the tip of the island, where well, you can definitely see why they say no swimming. Instagrammers delight to this, the antics of some of the people on the end here. Okay, time for a bit of fun here. What's the use of having a 360-degree camera if you can't play around with it a bit? What a truly lovely day to visit this place. We had a wonderful time, despite the noise of the wind and the waves. It was great. Now here's a map of where we are, and here are some stills that we took to show other parts of the trip. Up on the observation tower there, which was closed to visitors, a bunch of turkey vultures, and lovely view from below. We asked some other visitors to take a photograph of ourselves, and there's the look back north from the tip up onto the wooded area. Instead of walking on the beach path, we're walking back on the road, and the only traffic other than bicycles on the road is this beast, the shuttle. Free shuttle from the visitors center. On our Atlantic Canada road trip, we stayed in Halifax for a few days and got a free night at a Best Western, so we decided to take advantage of it here. The following morning, we're on the road again, this time headed towards Amherstburg, which is one of the southernmost towns in Ontario and Canada, and lies on the Detroit River at the mouth of Lake Erie. Migratory birds are flocking. Anyway, here we go. Here's roughly where we are, or where we're going. We're about 20 kilometers south of Windsor. Wind noise as usual. The Detroit River. We're in Amherstburg, Ontario. Watching the little ferry go across the island. Our side of the river, beyond the island, is the United States of America. We made a quick dash here to Amherstburg, weather is going to get worse. It's around 7 degrees Celsius today, and we're at the Amherstburg Navy Yard National Historic Monument. You see the trees that are getting blown around a bit. These lovely leaves will disappear shortly. The Detroit River here, along with the St. Clair River, drain from the upper lakes into Lake Erie. Lake Erie is where we've been spending some time. Canada and the United States are proud to have the longest undefended border between two countries in the world. And there's a little monument here called Forged Peace. Out of war, peace was forged. Leaving Amherstburg, and with a keen eye on the weather, we headed back west to, again, the Best Western for the night. But on the way, we wanted to stop at some wineries. So we set our sights on Colio Estates Winery in the village of Harrow and the Pelee Island Winery in Kingsville. Looking for somewhere to eat close by, we did find another winery called Cooper's Hawk Winery. I quickly looked up the website for it and found they had an interesting menu, so we headed there. Well, the weather caught up with us, and it was chucking it down by the time we arrived at the Pelee Island Winery in Kingsville. But we did enjoy our time there before heading back to the Best Western for the night and getting ready to head home in the morning. On our way home in the morning, we found that part of the road we were taking along the lake had been washed out and was closed. So on this detour, we passed what seemed to be like kilometers of greenhouses, where I guess a lot of our tomatoes come from. But we certainly enjoyed this little trip, and it was nice to be able to travel in style and dryness throughout this weather, be comfortable, and enjoy our camper van. At home, this is what we found. The van was dirtier than it had been in the entire 2 months we had traveled to the Atlantic provinces.